Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy, sounds like he's probably in his late 20s or so. And he shares his story about events that happened when he was a kid and how he didn't have a father growing up. And because of that, he definitely was lacking in the confidence department and social skills and all that. But eventually, got things together and he was doing well and made friends with a bunch of guys. And these guys became his bros and all that. Unfortunately, lots of drama came about with a couple of his buddies in the friendship circle, particularly caused by one of them. And this has been something that's been on again, off again for a while, eventually causing some definite issues in his adult life, to the point now that he's cut the guy off completely. And the reason I'm going over this story, guys, is an example of why I tell you that in life, there are times when you have to cut people out of your life. Even guys maybe you've been friends with for a while, because all the drama and all the BS is not worth it. I want you guys to have very enjoyable, drama-free lives. But if you have people in it that constantly are causing problems, or maybe they're envious of you, or try to sabotage things, frenemies, it's only going to bring more problems. And you have to reach a point that you're done. And so a lot of you guys are out there trying to become the best you can be, whatever that is in life, better yourself, have a good, peaceful life. You don't need that kind of crap. And so story here is a perfect example of that. And this guy here is just this friend. It's amazing that this dude telling the story was friends with him that long. But some guys just, they hold out because they've been friends with the guy for a long time, or they feel bad. But there's a point you got to cut people off. And that's the point of this whole story. And I got to tell you guys, it's interesting because this week I'm getting all these emails from guys telling me the stories about these guys that have done them wrong. You know, it's this pattern this week. The first one was a guy who had those blue pill, nice guy, white knight type of guys whose wife demanded open marriage, and this guy's cut him off. I'm sure a lot of you saw that video. Another video I did the other day was about the guy whose older brother was nailing his wife in a threesomething right after they got married. I know a lot of you saw that one. And now this one. It's like there's a theme a lot of times. It tends to be a whole bunch of things all at once and then nothing. Then I'll have a week where I get a whole bunch of emails about open marriages and open relationships. It's funny how that works out. But before I go over this, guys, I'm going to read an real quick email from a subscriber over in India, just thanking me for my work, how it's helped him out, and he's on his path and all that. Then I'll get on to the main event. This guy says here real quick, he says, "Dear SSM, greetings from India. I'm so grateful that I stumbled upon your channel. Just like most of them, I was a typical blue-pilled guy and was not only milked but abused by my ex's family. I thought I was the only one, but now I know it's unfortunately pretty common these days, and for the family members, I think you know who I mean. It says I was abused so much that I almost effing died. Maybe it's my good karma that saved myself. It was during my final years of my bachelor's last year. Thanks to you, I not only exterminated that venom from my life, I successfully graduated with flying colors with some connections, managed to secure a job in the U.S., and I'm joining in the second quarter of this year. Thank you so much, my man. You came to my life like a shining beacon of hope and changed me forever. May Lord bless you with lots of fortune and good health. Regards, a reborn R-pilled Black Knight." Bro, I'm glad that you found me and that my work was able to help you out, get out of a bad situation, and motivate you to press forward. And I wish you all the luck at your job here in the US of A. Good luck. Now, guys, on to the main story. This guy says, "Hello, SSM. I'm a longtime subscriber, and I very much enjoy your content. I want to share a story with you regarding the topic of friends because you mainly cover women. But I also believe that men must keep good friends and cut loose the bad ones. It is my hope that my story can help your viewers, especially younger men. Please be advised I am intentionally vague with some of the details, and please forgive me if this tends to ramble on a bit. I like to be descriptive and sometimes to a fault." Well, no problem, bro. And guys, remember, when you send your stories, for the sake of privacy, I'll never reveal your name or your private information, but it's a good idea to use different names for people. Not be too descriptive about what people look like and things like that way, just in case somebody finds it, they can't say you did this and cause a bunch of drama in your life. You don't need that crap. But I'll do my best. I'll do my part on keeping the down low on all your information. I assure you of that. He says, "For a little backstory on myself, I grew up in a city in a single-parent household. My father was a criminal and was always in jail, then died when I was 10 years old. Growing up, my mom did her best raising me, my siblings and I, with little help from the rest of the family. Giving my mother credit here, she never cheated on my dad despite everything, and after his death, she never dated or saw any man. Only dedicated herself to her job and as a mother to raise us. Unfortunately, she was emotionally distant. Due to the lack of a real male role model, I didn't know how to socialize and was very introverted. I never made any friends, and I delved deeply into video games and was always heavily bullied in school. I never fought back until after my father died, which changed something inside of me. And I finally started fighting back and even picking fights with the bullies. Yeah, I kind of did that too. Now, my dad was around, and he was a great dad, but my dad was also way older than me. I'm from a second family. So my dad was in his 50s when I was born. And by the time he retired at 65 years old, I was about 9 years old. He was kind of done. So I didn't have as much as I needed during the tough years. I was a little more introverted myself, and guys would give me shit, but they learned eventually not to do that because I loved the Arnold movies when I was a kid because Arnold was the big tough hero nobody messed with, and that motivated me to lift weights, get strong, learn to fight, all that. Nobody messed with me again. But you reach a point that you're done, and you're going to fight back, and you have to fight back against bullies. And then you reach a point that you hate bullies so much you actually pick on the bullies. Funny how that works. But I'm glad things turned out all right for you. It says here, it wasn't until middle school that I met my best friend, who then introduced me to his friends with similar interests, that I felt better. And we've been close even to this day. Most of us anyway. Then, when I turned 22, I joined the military. Turns out it was the best decision I ever made, despite being horribly tough in the beginning. I learned discipline, respect, and how to be a man. I left years later with newfound confidence, values, and R-pilled on women, which is its own separate story and has served me well to this day. Well, thank you for your service, brother, and I'm glad I helped you on multiple fronts. Now on to the story. I had two close friends in my circle who we'll call Johnny and Bruce, who fought with each other years ago for being dumbasses and sleeping with each other's ex-girlfriends. And it came to blows, thus ending the friendship. Because both did shitty things to each other, I refused to take a side and remained friends with both of them. The rest of our friend group took the same stance that I did. When we planned to get together, we had to decide if we were going to invite Johnny or Bruce, as Bruce refused to show up if Johnny was going to be there. Well, that sounds like a big giant pain in the ass. After about 4 years, my friends and I held a get-together we do every Christmas and hand each other gifts. Both Johnny and Bruce were invited because we got tired of choosing between them and both agreed to this arrangement. Good. They can cut the bullshit and act like fucking adults, so you guys don't have to pick and choose and all that. But watch how this plays out, and you're going to see which of these two is the grown-up and which one is the jackass that you're going to have to cast aside. I'll let you speculate. Johnny or Bruce? What do you think? At this get-together, we ate breakfast and then gave each other gifts. Both Johnny and Bruce gifted each other things that they both enjoyed deeply. And they decided to reconcile and restart the friendship. Well, remember, people don't change most of the time. It felt great to have all of us because now things could get back to how they used to be. Both Bruce and Johnny agreed not to do anything related to what they fought about ever again. For the next couple of years, things were going well, until recently. One day, I get a call from Bruce that he is cutting contact with Johnny because a mutual friend of theirs, who we'll call Mike, told him that Johnny confessed to him during a weed and drunk bender that he went behind Bruce's back and began dating his ex-girlfriend almost immediately after they broke up at the beginning of 2020, despite knowing full well the consequences of doing the exact same thing that they fought for before, and admitting that he hid the whole time that he was terrified of Bruce finding out. This Johnny guy sounds like a freaking snake. Guy and girl break up, and this guy's immediately after his ex-girlfriend. They just broke up. And this is the same crap they fought about all those years earlier. So obviously, Johnny's the a-hole here, and obviously that's been his track record. By and large, guys, people don't change. The only way people can change is they go through so much shit and realize the mess they've created and choose for themselves to make a change and stick with it. It can happen, but it's extremely, and I mean extremely rare. Mike told Johnny the following day that he had 1 week to come clean to Bruce or he would tell him everything. Johnny never did, and Mike kept his word. That's because this Johnny guy's a coward and not the type of person you want to be friends with. Then in real time, while on the phone, Bruce's girlfriend was sending him screenshots of Johnny's posts on Instagram, blaming all the bad things that happened to him on Bruce, despite that when they made up. Bruce paid for a lot of things for him because Johnny was always broke, took him places, and even tried finding him jobs, which Johnny only showed up the first day and didn't return for dumb reasons. This understandably hurt Bruce and enraged him. He vowed that if he ever saw him again, he'd lay him flat. So, this Johnny is the guy in the group who really is a loser, has nothing going for him. People try to help him out, and he just makes them look bad by, effing it up. That type of guy. Not somebody you want to hang out with. Someone when you're younger, you allow in the group because they're fun and all that, and you let things slide, but as an adult, it's like, grow the hell up. I had a friend like that in high school, and my whole crew, my gang of friends, there was like 5 of us, all of us had jobs on the weekends and summer times. This one kid didn't work. He was an only child. His parents didn't want him to work so he could enjoy the high school experience. And because of that, he didn't respect money very well. He didn't respect that people had to actually work to make money and all that. And he was spoiled. And we let the shit slide. A lot of times we want to do stuff and I'm out of money again because his mom didn't give him any money. So we slip him a few bucks so he come bowling with us. Once you got out of high school, I got really old. It's like, dude, get a fucking job. Make your own money. Stop. And he would blame everything on everybody else. Any problems he had was somebody else's fault but his own because he was spoiled. And it's his parents' fault, but then became his problem. And it got to the point that I just cut him off. One day I had enough. I got tired because I tried to help him get jobs, and he would screw things up just like in this story. And I reached the point that I'm done. And the same thing happened with the other guys. And he's probably the same way to this day, all these years later. Right here. Sometimes there's a point you just got to drop him. But you'll see more. It continues. Then after Bruce was done, he mentioned that Mike told him that Johnny badmouthed me behind my back after I'd come home from a one-night stand with a woman named Daisy that he was once interested in years ago. I never told Bruce about her and was surprised even he knew that I spent the night with Daisy, which had dawned on me that Bruce wasn't lying. This upset me greatly because a few months prior to this drama, I took time out of my busy schedule to drive a long way and give Johnny his first driving lesson because I wanted him to do better, and while taking him back home, we had a long discussion where he revealed that he was depressed because he turned 31 and hasn't done anything with his life. Well, yeah. And it sounds like you guys have tried to help him, but the guy's just a jackass, and that's on him. I then mentioned that Daisy wanted to see me and he was encouraging me to see her. A few weeks later, after she stayed over at my house and had our fun, he seemed genuinely happy about it, congratulating me and the usual playful banter. Yeah, but secretly he was envious and jealous of you and all that. You do not want to have envious, jealous people in your friendship circle, guys. It's a bad way to go. They will sabotage things just like this jackass is doing here to both guys. It was this revelation that motivated me to fully cut contact with Johnny because I do not tolerate disrespect from anyone. I do not insult my friends behind their backs for any reason. Criticism is fine if it doesn't go into the realm of disrespect, and I expect that from everyone else that wants me in their lives. For days I asked myself if I made the right decision, as if I was afraid he may off himself. I didn't block his number for 2 months, expecting him to reach out and explain himself, but he never did. Then I remembered a profound quote from Rich Cooper, aka Entrepreneurs in Cars, on a second interview with Andrew Tate, which said, "You cannot trust a man whose entire existence is focused on getting laid, and you cannot trust a man who can't get laid," which Tate finished by saying, "because they will sell you out for the one thing they are desperate for." That is very true. Very wise. It made me realize that Johnny was never a good friend. He was a user and a snake in the grass. Ultimately, he is a coward that always paints himself a victim, very similar to modern women. That's what I was thinking when I was reading. This guy sounds like a whiny woman. The rest of the group was reluctant to do the same, but they now realize what he actually is and stopped speaking with him. I've closed that chapter of my life and I feel much better now. I'm focusing on myself and my goals. I hope this story served as a good purpose for your viewers. Happy New Year, and I wish you and the community all the best. Well, bro, that was a good story. It's a little different than what I normally do, but remember here, guys, as important it is to talk about the stories about the gals and the bullshit guys go through and how guys get through the hard times and all that, it's important to talk about other elements of our lives, and our bros are a big part of it. And you get a guy in your group that is secretly jealous, envious, whatever you want to call it, not going anywhere in life, he's going to be jealous of you and cause problems, try to sabotage things right here. And both this dude telling the story and the other friend in the group, I know it's hard to keep track of all the names, was trying to help this guy. And you just sometimes got to cut people loose. End of story. And again, a lot of crap you might have tolerated when you were younger, kids, high school and all that, college. When you get to become a grown-ass man where you have a busy schedule and you have a job and responsibilities, in some cases families and kids and a wife if you have a good one, you don't have time for the bullshit from your buddies, and if that becomes the case and you can't trust them and they're backstabbers, cut them loose. It's not worth it. And they'll be somebody else's freaking problem. And they'll probably try to come back in your life and you tell them flat out. And they'll probably talk shit about you, make a bunch of stories. You can't worry about that. Life is short, guys. I want you guys to enjoy your lives and have drama free. So, there you go. Perfect example. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. And also, guys, you got a good story you'd like to share, by all means, email to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. This can cover good news articles, crazy stories you may happen to found online, typically Reddit, or your own personal stories, things you've gone through, things you've overcome, or simple questions you may have for me that you could use some advice on. I'll take them all. And give me a chance to get to them, and I will when I get a chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.